One of my teachers described studying history as a bit like following tracks in the sand, but he said the really important thing is not to worry so much about the tracks, but find out about the stories of the people who made them. And with History Month just around the corner, what better time for all of us to dive into the diversity of the story of South Australia and find out fascinating things about our history. The event's organised by History SA and officially called About Time. And with more than 500 items in the program, it's one of the largest community events in the state. So no matter where you live or what you're interested in, there's bound to be something for you. Crime, cars, carousels and conment all feature in the program. You can find out how to use history to write a crime mystery. There's horseback rides, you can explore cemeteries, even use your smartphone to take a tour. And if, like me, you're a sucker for a look behind a normally closed door, a behind-the-scenes wander through the State Library is an absolute must. And there'll be experts on hand, like Mark Gilbert, their Content Services Manager, to guide you through the maze and share their expertise and passion. Just look at what we found.
Grant, you'll see that the first edition of the South Australian Gazette and Colonial Register was published on June 18th, 1836. It was actually published in London before the colonists left for South Australia.
So what sort of things would they put in there?
They were saying how great the colony's going to be. But you'll notice that the second edition wasn't published till almost a year later.
So why was that?
Well, most of the type, I'm told, that was meant to be used on Stanhope Press was left on board the ship.
So it sailed off with the type?
Sailed off with the type, and it took some months to get back.
I wonder what treasures you'll get to see. The About Time History Festival runs throughout May. Get a program and get involved.
You know, gardening can become very addictive. A few successes in growing plants in pots or even in the garden, and before you know it, you'll become as passionate about gardening as I am. Now, in this month's SA Life magazine, I'm tackling the topic of garden planning. And you know, there's really no such thing as an instant garden. You know, with a little bit of careful planning, you'll save yourself a lot of pain and a lot of cash down the track. The first thing is to work out what type of garden you want. Ornamental, productive. The article takes you through all the early steps to get you to the exciting part, planting. I'm out here at Virginia Nursery to pick out some really hardy plants that are going to be the bones of a new garden I'm working on. And you know, autumn heading into winter, in my opinion, is the best time to get these very healthy plants into a garden. To screen out a back fence, I'm going to be using Murraya paniculata. It's a toughie, beautiful, sweetly scented white flowers. In front of that, some hibiscus for that wonderful summer flowering. In front of that, big red, and you can prune that to your heart's content, even to a wonderful topiary form. And then if you want a bulletproof plant, Day-80s. And finally, one of my favourites, an oldie but a toughie, Statice. And you can get them in pink, white and purple. Don't forget seeds. They're the cheapest way to get your garden going. And cuttings, just beg, borrow or steal them. And of course, don't forget bulbs, because they can be planted over the next few weeks as well. Around Adelaide, there are many community gardens and gardening clubs you can join, not only to make new friends, but also get some fabulous gardening tips. So don't hibernate now that the weather's getting cooler. Get out and get stuck into your winter garden.